All right, so let's start off with Elon Musk, if you don't mind. We just heard from him a second ago. We got him talking about deleting entire federal agencies. And at the same time, he's a big-time government contractor, expected to get a $400 million contract from defense this year. If you look at some reports, getting about $13 billion in federal contracts over the last 5 years. How concerning is this if you're looking at the U.S. government, either from the outside or even from the inside, about some of the self-dealing? Should more people be raising some questions about exactly what Elon Musk is doing and his conflicts of interest?
Frank, that is a huge question. I think it's a huge issue. And I do think if you take a step back, one of the fundamental questions has been is if you delete a government employee, is that service deleted or does it shift over to a contractor? What we've seen for 30 plus years here in Washington, D.C. is the size of the federal government workforce has actually been relatively flat. You've seen huge increases in state and local governments, but where you've seen the increase is over to government contractors. So when he's talking about deleting agencies or reducing the workforce, is it going to be a shift from civil servants over to government IT, government contractors, folks like Elon Musk that will get the direct dollars versus having a group of civil servants? That's a political decision to be made, but it's also a congressional decision to be made. The only person that has authority or the agencies that have authority is Congress working with the president to decide which agencies actually exist. I think Donald Trump is going to push as much as he can to see whether or not he can do more deletion in the executive branch than was thought previously possible. But the Elon Musk question, huge question, Frank, and it's a question I'm getting a lot here at Raymond James.
I mean, clearly a very big question. I'm not surprised you're getting a lot of incoming questions about it. Another question. We're talking about the Indian Prime Minister coming to D.C. today. One of the people he's going to meet with is Elon Musk. If you're a foreign government, a foreign leader, or a foreign business, some of this idea that Elon Musk has so much power over the federal government, someone who's not an elected official, you see agencies being deleted, you see a lot of this unrest. Does that change at least the idea of foreign governments and companies? Does it change the view of the U.S. when it comes to investability and maybe even stability on a corporate sense?
I don't think it is just yet, Frank. I think that what you would see is any prime minister coming to the United States, head of state, usually is meeting with the president and really kind of important business leaders of the country. The elevation of Elon Musk is in an unusual situation here in the United States. I do think that there's a lot of business interest that Musk has in India. We're going to see kind of also conversations with other business leaders. What is the opportunity for kind of the United States to deal with a free trade agreement ultimately with India? Is that an opportunity for Tim Cook and Apple, other tech companies? When I've talked to folks in and around the Trump administration, they say, we hate India because of how high their tariffs are, but we also love India because of how high their tariffs are, because that's an opportunity for President Trump to cut a deal potentially with them and open up the kind of Indian market, a billion plus individuals, consumers to U.S. goods. They see that as a huge opportunity.
So I want to talk to you also about Treasury offering Ukraine and President Zelensky an economic partnership deal. That's what they're calling it. But at the same time, kind of eyeing the nation's natural resources. We also know that the president and the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, are discussing trying to end the war. I just want to get your take on this idea that, the U.S. is offering a partnership, an economic partnership deal, but they want something back in return. Just your view on that.
Yeah, Trump is transactional. We have seen kind of from day one on the energy executive order, Frank, that energy includes rare earth minerals, critical minerals. We've seen the administration identify different portions of critical minerals and rare earth minerals that are necessary for our national security and for our supply chains. This was first started by President Biden. And so when you look at kind of the rare earth minerals that exist in Ukraine, Donald Trump says, hey, that could solve one of our national security problems. There is a linked interest here. The conversations about Greenland, a lot of that is about rare earth minerals. The debates that are going to go on with the United States and Canada, a lot of that's going to be about rare earth minerals. So it's not a topic that we talk about every single day, but in my mind, kind of making sure the United States changes its supply chains, de-risks from China is going to be a critical part of what Donald Trump wants to do. Now for negotiations with Ukraine, it does look after a 90-minute phone call between Trump and Putin, they're going to want to meet. Is Zelensky a part of that, and what the outcome of those deals? unanswered questions at this point, Frank.